So both the EA meta showing that how strong of a pick she is, and the teams in North America and Europe getting more time on her, testing more with 2.9. They seem to be prioritizing her a lot, especially in that lane role.
So Catherine going to be banned away here right after that Black Feather first pick for the likes of Nova. Black Feather, one of the easily most focused picks here in North America and in Europe as well. Just such an incredibly strong pick on this patch.
Yeah, it's no surprise to see it banned away. It will be Nova that pull out the Churnwalker for themselves. So, and we thought maybe Cloud9 would try and go back to the Churnwalker, but Nova say not so fast. We're going to be throwing out those hooks and chains, trying to slow everything up, and he works very well with the Black Feather.
Yeah, we talked about it before. He works really well with Black Feather, not only because of the synergy between the two, but Black Feather is a good counter into the Churnwalker, so having him on your team, you know he's not going to be on the opposing team. However, now for Cloud9, they have multiple options. None of the top-tier roamers, I would say. The only thing that's left at top-tier roamer would be the Grace. Fortress, I would expect, actually might be something that they go for just because they like that pick into heroes that have a lot of sustain and a lot of barriers. The Mortal Wound works really good against it, and Black Feather is one of those heroes.
They could also go for the Grace just because we saw at the Unified Live Championship, Gabe Vizel's Grace was out of this world. Easily the best Grace we saw at that event, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they, whichever direction they go to as far as the captain. The Petal coming out, though, and then the Lance to pair it up with. Lance is another one of Gabe Vizel's top picks of really the last couple of seasons. So definitely a bit of comfort there. But this, again, feels a little bit like Cloud9 just wanting to see how this composition runs for them. We've seen other teams running very similar compositions, but going into the Black Feather Churnwalker and now a Reza, this Petal pick is going to be really intriguing to keep our eyes on and see how Joseph performs on it, assuming it does go to Joseph.
Right, and if you're wondering why Petal was picked, it's because it's a safer pick in that scenario. If you go for the Reza, Cruel is still open. If you go for the Cruel, Petal is still open. If you go for the Petal, she can work against both Reza and Cruel technically as long as you play her well. So the fact that Nova had the last pick to counter the jungler forced C9 to pick something a little bit safer, and that's why they went for the Petal.
All right, so looking at Cloud9 then, this is a team that we know to be aggressive in the early game. They love to control the game. Are we going to see that out of them here? Are they going to be the ones on the front foot, or is that something we expect out of Nova?
I would assume that Cloud9's still going to try and be aggressive. Using this Petal, if you can get the minions onto a target and keep yourself far enough away, you're just able to melt through their health bar while staying safe yourself, and you can get some huge advantages.
All right, well, it's about time we got on into this quarterfinal. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Let us know who you are supporting coming on into this one, whether you want Nova to take this or whether you believe Cloud9 are the favorites. Let us know. It's time to get on into this one. I'm passing it back to Jaws and the Source.
Thanks, guys. Once again, you're right, Joe. My name's Jaws, joined by The Source. Cloud9 versus Nova, game number 1. And I thought Petal was dead after those Frostburn changes, Source. But she's still here, and she's still as annoying as ever.
There's still plenty of damage to be dealt through those minions. They're just not as free as they used to be, which means Joseph is going to need slightly better positioning, is going to need to be closer to the fights, and that gives Eco the ability to land those chains. We have a Churnwalker, and Gabe Vizel is deep in enemy territory looking to disrupt this jungle start, and he steals it!
What just happened? There were 3 members of Nova around that tree, and Gabe Vizel with the single Githian wall steals the first camp. That's going to set Nova behind a little bit here. So might be a little bit of a problem for them actually coming into the next couple of minutes.
That's pretty significant. That means Joseph is under 0 pressure. That means that Gabe Vizel will be slightly faster. Oh my god, if he makes another steal. He was thinking about it. He was in position to consider that. I mean, it just makes everything harder for the side of Nova. They need to think about their positioning a little bit more carefully because they're going to be behind by a little bit of levels, and it also means that Isle Joseph might start doing some aggressive counter jungling, and the last thing you want to deal with is a Petal sneaking around your jungle, stealing what you can, and then catching you as you walk into the bush.
Yeah, especially as if it's Joseph as well. He's such an aggressive jungler as it is. You can imagine this is a go signal for him. They're going to go for this Elder Tree, and for the time being, won't go over to Nova. They won't be able to get redemption. Joseph will take that one and secure it. Now, Gabe Bizzle and Joseph are moving towards Delphi and Eco. Eco's only level 1, mind you, with Joseph level 3. That impale does land. I got a feeling this might be first blood. There goes the blast, but already Joseph is able to secure it.
Oh, Lone Delphi. And actually gonna find Old School was looking to possibly mix some skills. Did he want to find Old School?
Double flask have been popped. Truth is going to come down as well. Old School with the glimmer shots can't quite find it. Lone Delphi with the troublemaker outplay does find a kill, and they at least trade 1 for 1 in that long exchange.
That's pretty good for Nova. They're going to be able to steal away the rest of the jungle of Cloud9, even up the theft that Joseph just finished executing. That also puts a kill in the hands of Lone Delphi, so he'll be able to get back into the game a little bit faster. Runs right into Joseph. Now he's in trouble.
Oh, Delphi overstaying a little bit, but it's going to pop those boosts, but so is Joseph. Those Munions chasing him down. He might be in a lot of trouble. Those Munions are a little bit too quick, but Troublemaker will get him out of there for the time being. Eco's being chased away, and Joseph might be able to get a little wraparound here. Not quite quick enough. Trampoline to get the extended range on the basic attack. Not quite finding it, but still being a lot of pressure on Lone Delphi this early on in the game has netted him about a 10 CS lead.
Yeah, and Joseph will get a little bit more of value out of the jungle. Old School, he shouldn't be in the lane, at least not right now. Better for them to stay in the jungle, stay as this consolidated group. There's still plenty of gold for them to be gained, and then they can kind of reset themselves, because this has been pretty hectic for the first few minutes. It's only a 300 gold lead for the side of Cloud9, but you can definitely feel that Cloud9 are controlling the pace of the game so far. Truth, however, has gotten some space in the lane. Hasn't been under the pressure that Old School is dishing out up until now, as those glimmer shots even land, but he's been able to get a little bit more farm. He's ahead of Old School by about 10 CS, so bit of value for the side of Nova. They can easily turn things back around with the weapon power black.
Now, Nova got upset last week. Actually, Impale does land. Double Impale, that is. Eco's going to be able to find 2 chains. Use the Torment on Gabe Bizzle, but nothing else happens. In fact, Old School trading up rather favourably in that exchange. His Truth is sent to about half HP with those glimmer shots. Another Impale does land. Eco going very low. Old School moving forward, but they are going to be able to chase that. Not with Eco with his flask, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it's a rough life as a Trim walker in the earlier portion of the game, unless you're the ones making those aggressive early jungle invades, finding some of those kills, getting some of that initial health and defenses that Eco is going to need. You know, currently he's being poked out a lot by Old School. Old School now has the Sorrow Blade finished, so Eco needs to be very careful as he's so low.
Eco, Pale does miss this time around, but Cloud9 eking to get another kill on the board. Delphi is rotating towards the lane, however, with Joseph doing the same thing, but Cloud9 still pressuring this lane, and Gabe Bizzle, using that Impale on cooldown at the moment, is determined to at least find a little something here. Truth is level 6, mind you, so has got Rose Offensive, so he's more safe in the lane than he normally would be.
Yeah, but Lone Delphi doesn't have 6. I love Joseph because these fights are going to start to get very dangerous. It is a very melee-focused composition for the side of Nova. They are all going to be grouped up, and that spontaneous combustion could do massive damage. Truth, taken low with shots from Old School. So, oh, wait.
Ooh, that was close. Old School with only, yeah, I thought too, but only slightly getting off there. There's going to be a minion candy used as well to pressure this turret, and Old School doing what he does best and doing what Kestrel does best as well, and take early turrets. Eco taking a lot of damage though, he's going to have to be careful. Luckily that one shot, one kill is on a cooldown still. Nova just making it back towards the lane now, so they'll be able to protect it, at least for the moment. That's what Kestrel does best, is take those turrets, and that's exactly what they're doing. We're 5 minutes in with that first tier turret for Nova, already down to about a quarter HP.
The Truth going for a different build, has the Sorrow Blade, still has the Book of Eulogies, hasn't decided on his lifesteal item, so maybe he doesn't necessarily go for the Serpent's Mask. Maybe we see a Poison Shiv to, I guess, put a lot of pressure, just devalue the Fountain and make that really the only form of sustain being for Cloud9 and kind of put that back possibly. Probably not. He'll probably go into a Serpent's Mask and just want the initial damage, but it is a little bit of a build transition. Old School, massive damage.
That was a big torment, but that was a good active camo trap as well. Old School using the boost to get away. They're the form destination. He's going to find Old School. They're going to be able to protect it for the time being, but Lone Delphi will find the executing kill, or at least Truth will. Triple Githian wall is going to make sure Joseph stays alive for the time being. The spontaneous combustion does trade a kill for now, but Lone Delphi is very low. Impale doesn't quite land on him. Hits Eco. He's very tanky on this Churnwalker already. He's only level 5, but he's got that Fountain. Did use it in the fight, so he'll be able to escape.
So even team fight more or less across the board. There's definitely
one
Wait.
shot, one kill. There we go. Old school with the aimbot. Cross mat does find Lone Delphi.
Oh my god, and he found him at the lower camp. I was looking for the body, I'm like, he didn't make it back to lane. How did he know where he was? But as I say that, you know, Old School needs to be worried about his pressure, he instantly makes a playback. Great Githian wall.
Great Githian wall into the double impale as well. Beautiful glimmer shot lineup. Truth box the boost. And that'll be Cloud9 now breaching that turret and just taking the first one off the board for Nova.
So some pacing for the side of Cloud9. Damage. That's a dead body.
Wrong place, wrong time. Not quite yet. Troublemaker. Still got 2 charges. Luckily, Lone Delphi did save one when he came over the wall.
So good initial damage from Joseph because he's got that shattered glass. A long extended team fight, so it's pretty even. Nobody has a stacking item yet. We don't have that breaking point from Truth yet. We don't have a possible Dragon's Eye from Lone Delphi, although I would think he would end up going into the Broken Myth to get through what is going to be a lot of Aegises and just the amount of shield. It makes the damage that comes out of Lone Delphi easier. The Dragon's Eye stacks fall off very, very quickly on a Reza if you're not able to constantly do damage and if you don't get massive value off the Nether Forge detonation. And now we see Nova pressuring up, looking to kind of find the engagement that they kind of got going in the mid lane. I was talking about how Old School would need to be careful about the positioning. They got a lot of damage onto him very quickly and only slightly or closely managed Cloud9 to survive that, and now Vizzo goes for the engagement.
They gotta be careful about the positioning now. There comes the Trespass, actually stunning 2 members. Joseph still doing a lot of damage. Old School not auto-attacking at all, or no glitter shots were landing, so Joseph ends up falling there, and now he's gonna get soloed out by Eco and Delphi. He's still gonna fall. Lone Delphi almost fell in that engage, but Truth is gonna find Vizzo. Rose offensive over the wall. Should just be able to execute him here, although on point does end up missing. Truth gets Githian wall as well. But does dash forward, does manage to find the ace, and Nova now on the board is going to pick up that gold miner as well.
Nova get a really good stun from Eco. He gets off a really, really great trespass on multiple targets, and the reflex blocks pop from Old School, but it was just a little bit too late, so he still ends up getting stunned, and Nova get themselves a solid team. They even up the turrets. The gold is basically even. Pretty much at tie game. It was a very disjointed team fight for the side of Cloud9. They didn't look to be on the same page. Now Old School throwing some glimmer shots through. He still does massive damage to Eco and sprints in. He wants to finish this.
Yeah, he's actually going to use the boost to get a little bit more damage down because they're going to focus Truth here. With Eco already used his boost to get away, Truth's left completely alone in no man's land. Does dash forward though, kills Joseph in the end as well. And Lone Delphi's joined the fray, and on point will finish him off. Truth with the double kill. Vizzo now gets taken down. A triple kill for Nova, a back-to-back ace. Truth comes up big.
Truth with a massive, it sustains himself off the Serpent's Mask, basically 1v3s for an extended period of time, and just survives, is putting pressure on Joseph, so Joseph doesn't want to step forward for fear of the burst and the execute damage coming out from Truth, and that just gives him the time to just play with the side of Cloud9 and be the catalyst to bring all of them down. Cloud9 on the back foot a little bit here. Truth is starting to take control of this game.
He's 6-1. He's got a Sorrow Blade and a Serpent's Mask. And one clear weakness that they had in coming weeks before, coming up against, I believe it was Hammers. Yeah, final game in the semi-finals last week against Hammers. They had a lead, but just did not protect Truth. He went down, and it was a massive upset as Nova were just able to finish there and then, even though Nova had a gold. Hammers were able to finish there and then, even though Nova had a gold lead. But Truth doesn't need protecting this time. This guy's now in the carry position. He's got those shoes on. He's ready to rock and roll. 1v3 like you just said. And now Cloud9 are on the back foot. They've got 2 turrets down.
Alright, so Lone Delphi, he's got himself that Broken Myth. He's pretty much going to be doing about as much damage as Reza will do, with the exception of getting a little bit more value off of his infusions. Maybe he goes for damage at him. Probably not. Probably wants to sustain and let Truth just dish out massive damage. 1 shot, 1 kill. Thrown just to see if they could find somebody, maybe poke down Lone Delphi, who was creeping up behind them. But the damage is pretty much set for the side of Nova. Yes, the breaking point is going to come in from Truth at some point, and that is, you know, their next big item spike. They can pretty much take any fight they want with Cloud9. So the question is does Joseph get the value he needs to on the title? Old School is doing, definitely doing good damage, may need a little bit more protection. How does Joseph really facilitate for him without having the Frostburn, without that value on the Munions anymore? He's pretty much an all-damage pedal at this point. No utility.
Nova want to go for an engage. That's a beautiful Githian wall into the triple impale as well. Old School is going to make use of that setup as he sends Lone Delphi extremely low. But the hooks are still there and Trespass is available as well as that Neverborn Destination. Nova don't need to be scared just yet. Cloud9 go for another engage. The impale doesn't miss it. The Githian wall does not. Here comes Lone Delphi though. They're in the corridor exactly where Gabe Bizzle wants them. But can they protect Joseph for long enough? Yes, they can apparently because he does manage to pick up a kill. Eco now on the run uses those boosts to get away and Cloud9, they find the fight. They might just be able to find the ace if they can lock Eco down, but this is the turnaround and the comeback they needed.
Gabe Bizzle just set up so much value for his team. He got off the Crucible that blocked out the entire Trespass from Eco, which was a three-chain setup that would have been a great stun for them and possibly could have let them bring down Joseph or Old School. He also, just even before that fight, that jump over the wall, Githian wall, and double impale, he's willing to set up these plays, and Cloud9, they're kind of getting a little bit more of that mojo back that they were talking about on the desk, that it just didn't seem like they were the same. Gabe Bizzle was clearly showing up and saying, no, I can still make any kind of play I feel like.
Yeah, Bizzle's carrying through the mid-game. We are 13 minutes in and only 1,000 gold separates these two teams. And with that, most of that gold is on the kills and Joseph in his back pocket, and that CS advantage that he's gotten over Delphi. Delphi has been a little bit more impactful in these fights, but Joseph has maintained the farm, and he has been there as well. That's actually a big hook on to Old School, pulls him back as well. There's the Trespass, only going to stun him, but that's the target they wanted to get. That's a big Githian wall, but it didn't matter in the end. Lone Delphi uses that nether form, gets massive damage on the backline, and Joseph's going to get chased out using that reflex bod to get the shielding for the time being, but Truth finds the on-point kill, and now Nova break the base as they get the ace.
We talk about Cloud9 finding their engagements again, and instantly Nova are able to answer back. I was going to note Joseph's build. He's got all those kills. He's got all that gold. It's a double Shatter Glass, so no stacking off of a Dragon's Eye, no slows off the Frostburn, although that's not, it doesn't get the same value. Doesn't have the Broken Myth. It's all raw damage. So what's the next step in that build? Because in that last fight, it didn't look like Joseph could really do all that much. He's got an infusion in hand, which will crank up that power. So if he's if he's left alone, allowed to dish out his damage, yes, he will eventually bring somebody down. But Lone Delphi and Truth are never going to let that happen. So it has to just be that much trust in Gabe Bizzle to just protect him throughout the entire fight and protect Old School. And this just puts a lot of pressure on the captain player when you've got pretty much two glass cannons on your team with very little utility coming out.
Yeah, Gabe Bizzle's got the Atlas Pauldron, so he's going to be able to cut the attack speed of Truth and Delphi, but right now, they're mainly just doing, well, Delphi especially, obviously doing a lot of on-hit damage. He just dives in, and Joseph melts, Old School melts. They've got only an Aegis and a Reflex block between them, and that's going to be their main problem there. Very little defensive, want to go full glass cannon like you mentioned. As soon as Old School gets jumped on though, with that double monocle, he's going to dish out a lot of damage, but Gabe Bizzle's going to be after one protecting, and he's half health now. That'll be Nova to take commanding position of this lane, but we are 15 minutes on the clock source, needless we forget that the next fight will probably land in a Kraken if it does go the way of an ace. Eco going very low, does use the boost. There's Gabe Bizzle, does get a Githian War into Eco, but a big impale does come through in the end. They are going to use those water treads to get away, but Old School's on the back line, doesn't manage to kill anybody as Lone Delphi just cuts through him now. Delphi is going to handily deal with Joseph as Truth finds two. Cloud9 now just getting routed time and time again.
Great initial setup from Eco. We haven't talked about that share damage coming off of the change, just because there's just been so much flashy hard engage coming out from Nova, and it seems like they're really getting the job done without that damage. But that was kind of more of an extended team fight. We saw the value of the Churn Walker passive, Eco having good positioning, spreading himself, spreading out the chains and making sure he was in between all of the enemy targets to get that shared damage across. It helped them bring down Old School. It helped them bring down Gabe Bizzle. And there was, a lot of initial setup from the side of Nova for that play. They now picked up the Kraken, and Joseph, he's picked up an extra crystal bit and some armor. Not enough gold to be able to really define his build with another item. And now the pressure is on Cloud9. They need to get the team wiped and then clear the Kraken, because we've seen how many fights or games have just been won by people extending these team fights and letting the Kraken do its job.
Well, Nova's got the sustain of truth, and Nico is extremely tanky as well, but he does get impaled in Githium Wall. Now they're going to be all lined up for Old School to rain glitter shots through, but they're just going to completely ignore that. He's trying to make it back to the healing portal. It's not going to work because those impales are just going left, right, and center. Gabe Vizzle cannot find the lockdown, gets chased back to his base. Another ace for Nova, and that Kraken is still in the base. This is going to be game for Nova with 30-second death timers here, Source. What a complete turnaround from them, from an early game advantage Joseph set up to now Nova taking 1-0 up in the series.
And Old School, he had the initial damage. He got plenty of glimmer shots through and took Lone Delphi pretty low, but the moment he backed up to reset, Tooth just ran at him and chased him down and was able to put so much pressure that he couldn't stop and turn around and output any damage. Old School was completely caged as soon as Truth managed to get himself online, and that really brought Nova the victory.
How'd you kill the glass cannon? You run at them full force, and if you've got enough damage, you'll instantly blow them up before they can kill you, and that's exactly what happened. Truth 12-2